Welcome, ladies, to your 9:30 Zoom workout on a wonderful Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Who knows what day it is? It's pandemic. What is time? We're going to start with our warm-up. Now for today, just so you know, you're going to need a couple of hand weights. You're also going to need something sturdy that you can place some of your body weight on. Not all, but some. Think like a sturdy chair or a countertop or a table. So we're starting with our side to side. So we're going to bring the hands up. We're going to add a jab.
The next workout will begin in 60 seconds. Please proceed.
Now the jabs themselves, very gentle. If your shoulders don't care for the jabs, you can always do a limited range of motion. Just keep it real small. Good. We got 4, we got 3, we got 2. We're going to keep the hands up, keep the feet going. You're protecting your face. Got your fists up on either side of your cheekbones, kind of like you're on the phone. Good. And we're going to add an uppercut here. Now, an uppercut is a punch. Imagining someone's face is like right in front of your face. You want to get up under their chin. So it's going to look like this. Up, up. Good. 1, 2. Now, if you're a little confused about the coordination, you're like, which arm goes in which direction? I don't care. As long as you're moving. Beautiful. Now you notice that I have like a small rotation through the rib cage, just like so. You don't need that. If that's bothering your lower back or anything similar, you can keep it steady like this. But I always like to add a little bit of power into my uppercuts. If you're going to do that small rotation, you got to keep that core nice and tight. Pull that belly button in. Good. Beautiful. We're just going to do this until the end of this set. Get that breath going. You should feel your core temperature start to rise. Beautiful. I'm so happy that you were all here with me, staying so active during pandemic.
Stop.
I'm very pleased about it. Y'all should be proud of yourselves. Give yourselves a lot of credit. Good. We got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Go ahead and shake that out. Now we're going to practice a regular squat. I'm going to turn on a diagonal. So you can see exactly what I'm doing here. Feet are just about hip distance apart, maybe a tiny bit wider. Toes are generally pointed forward or very slight turnout, like very slight. The first thing I'm going to have you guys do is send your booty back and shift your weight into your heels. And then you're going to squeeze your glutes and come back up. It's literally the first thing we're going to do. Stick your butt out, come up. That's it. Booty, then drive, squeeze. Booty. Heels, drive, squeeze. Good. That's step 1.
Stop.
I always like to go over this because when people hear squat, they think of a deep knee bend, which is where you just send your knees straight forward. When that happens, the knees go way out beyond the toes, and it's can be pretty tough on that joint. So you've got to stick that butt out. Do not be shy. Weight is in the heels. For set 3, we're adding the bend in the knees. Good. Booty back, then bend. Then straighten, then booty. So you're going back and down, then up and forward. Essentially, reversing the path of movement. A lot of times I'll see this. So people go back and down, that looks great. Then the knees will come forward and then the hips will come up. Not so good. You always want to have your weight primarily in your heels. You should be able to wiggle your toes gently at any given time. Very good. Hands are going to come to your shoulders.
Exercise.
Now, if your knees are sensitive today, you are more than welcome to keep a shallow squat. Going down to about 45 degrees. Beautiful, but no matter where you are, you're going to bring your hands to your shoulders and we're going to add a reach. So down and reach. Now you notice that I'm not trying to reach down here. I'm reaching once I come up. You achieve nice strong posture and then we reach overhead. Good. You're squeezing your glutes here and belly button is pulled in. Notice how your shoulders are feeling. If your shoulders don't care for this, you can try a little semi-reach. Or if even that's no good, just bring your hands to your chest. Good, as long as you're moving steadily. I'm feeling myself get nice and warm. If I'm getting warm, you guys should be getting warm too.
Stop exercise.
Boom.
Switch to the next station.
Next station. Go ahead and grab your hand weights. I hope you paid attention to that movement because we're going to do it with weight. Now we're gonna start with a regular squat with the weights just close to the chest, okay? Or belly, actually, that's even better. But you'll notice I'm squishing the weight into my torso, hips back and down. Now you can, if you like, graduate straight to the weights being on top of the shoulders, but I will caution you here that you gotta keep that core nice and tight. When the weight is higher, it's more challenging, but it can also start to get into the lower back if we're not paying attention. Knees, you're squatting, knees should not be falling in. You're squatting, knees should not be flaring out. We want the knees to be on the same plane as the toes at all times.
Exercise.
Good, go ahead and take a break. Breathe. Set 2, we're going to add an overhead pulse or press. So if your shoulders are sensitive, we are going to bring the weights up to the shoulders here. You're going to do a squat. 2. And then here's the limited range of motion. Boop. Just one arm. Squat. Boop. Good. Now if you're feeling strong today, you can try a full press. Beautiful. You're going to feel that heart rate start to come back up. So fun when that happens. Now it's very important that you keep your trunk nice and stable here. So you come up, I don't want to see any overextension through the rib cage. The spine should not be curving. So you should be up,
stop,
strong.
Exercise.
Down, up, strong. Good, take a break. Now notice, if your shoulders aren't hurting, but you are unable to get that bicep next to your ear, like if you end up doing this, that can be problematic. Maybe think about limiting your range of motion.
Set 3.
Set 3, here's a progression. Take it if you want. Just back and down. Drive through the heels, both hands up. Down into the shoulders, then squat. Drive through the heels, drive. Good, very nice. Now again, very important that we don't try to push while we're squatting. The weights are stable until we come to standing. I am flowing from one movement to the next, but we want to make sure that we have a stable support
exercise
before we press. Excellent. Set 4, your choice. Squats with the weights close or mini squat. Squats with pulses. Squats with alternating presses, or squats with both presses.
Begin set 4.
Set 4 is begun. Your choice. Do what is right for you. If your squat has to be tiny but your shoulders are strong, it can look like this. Oh, sensitive knees, strong shoulders. Or if your knees are healthy but your shoulders are sensitive, boop. That's it. Squat, boop. This is a multi-muscle group exercise, but there's always a way to modify it so that it works for you. Ooh, my shoulders keep popping. Gorgeous.
Stop exercise and
Beautiful.
switch to the next station.
All right, go ahead and put your weights down. Now we're going to come to that stable surface. I myself am going to use the back of this chair. We're going to place our hands on the surface and take a little bit of a step back and begin to hinge our body down. So we're not stretching our chest, but we are nice and flat through here like a tabletop. Feet are going to come all the way together, and you're going to send one leg back. Now, very important as we begin our pulses here, that we keep the lower back really nice and flat. We don't want too much height in the moving leg. A lot of times that ends up looking like this with the spine. You see that flexion? That's not what we want. We also want to make sure that we're not looking at the knee too much. If you're only doing this, I want you to really isolate from the hip. Good. Go ahead and come on up, take a break. Beautiful. Now, you're also going to feel some burning in the supporting hip.
Begin.
I'm going to go ahead and switch sides. Good. One leg back. Oops. Make sure you're not hitting anything. And pulse. And pulse. Very good. Notice my supporting knee is nice and soft. You'll also notice that I corrected for something. I saw one of my butt cheeks was a little too high. You want to make sure your back is nice and flat. Not only does that mean that you're not bowing your back, it also means that your hips are even. If I were to place a glass of wine on my lower back, it would probably stay mostly stable. Good. Come on up. Now, if you are very confident in your stability and you would like to try the progression, here's what it's going to look like. You just don't have anything to hang on to. So, hands on your hips, feet together.
Begin set
Stay
3.
even. Turn on diagonal so you can kind of see. Tilt forward. Hold. Straighten out that back leg, pull the belly button in, and pulse. Pulse, pulse. We're getting the pulsing booty. Also, you'll feel the glute and hip working in the supporting leg. You'll also probably feel a little bit of burning in the back of the supporting thigh. Make sure that supporting leg is not locked. We want a little bit of softness, but not a deep bend either. Belly button's pulled in very, very tight. 3, 2, 1, and come up. Now, if any of you have done our indoor upstairs workouts before, you probably remember a one-legged deadlift without the hop, like this. Essentially what we're doing
set 4.
is holding that one-legged deadlift. Let me switch so you can see. Other leg. Holding the one-legged deadlift and getting extra work, not only in the standing glute, but the moving glute as well. The counter or the back of the chair, just there to give you a little extra support so you can get the full benefit of the reps. If your balance is strong, try this. If your balance is really wobbly, I care more about getting your glutes than I do about focusing on
Stop exercise and switch to the next.
Fabulous. We're gonna come on down, let's do our planks. Get out of the way, chair. All right. So we're going to start with a high plank. That can be on your hands or on monkey paw.
Begin set 1.
Beautiful. Let's go into our full high plank here. Why a high plank, Nicole? Because we're gonna add a mountain climber. Bring your feet all the way together, squeeze your butt. One knee is gonna come into the chest, replace, and squeeze. And hold for a hot second. Other knee. In, replace. Very good. Belly button's pulled in really tight. Go nice and slow. Keep your hips really even.
Stop exercise.
You now drop your knees, give me a little child's pose. Now, if for whatever reason being down on the floor is not the best, you are always welcome to come up to your countertop. If you have a low bench, even better. When we elevate the body, we're going to find that it puts less weight on the shoulders themselves. Now this here is a slippery bench. It likes to move. So we need to make sure that the body weight is over your support, over your hands. Good. Lower back, nice and flat. Squeeze that booty. Every time you come back to neutral, squeeze. Wonderful. Good. Take your time. This is not a cardio move as much as it is strength.
Exercise.
Very good. Take a break. Give it a little shoulder roll if you need it. Now, progression. For those who want it, a Spider-Man. This is done on the elbows. So if you feel strong in your core and your lower back, but your wrists are tired, this might be a good one.
Begin set 3.
Down on the elbows. That knee is going to come out to the side and then back. The side and then back. You have to lift that knee up, and it's almost like you're trying to touch the back of that supporting elbow. A lot of times I see people do this. They'll come in and then they'll poke their butt up and turn it into half a mountain climber. In, up, down. The reason we have to pick the knee up so high is because the hips have to stay in line. So do your best not to pike your hips up. Honestly, that goes for mountain climber people too. So last set, your choice. Mountain climber on your hands or fists, mountain climber on the bench, or Spider-Man on your elbows. Last set, I'm gonna go Spider-Man. Out to the side. I want you to really focus, for those of you who are spidering, on those obliques, the side of the waist, right here. That is what is squeezing that knee up toward the elbow. If you are mountain climbing, I want you to focus on your lower abdominals. Pulling the knee in, replace and set. Making sure that that lower back is never bowing.
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
Beautiful. Let's turn over onto our backs. I think you deserve it. All right. We're going to begin with our feet all the way together, like squeeze together tight. Knees also
Begin step 1.
together. I want you to engage through the inner thighs before you begin and pull your belly button into the spine. So this is actually very active. You feel a lot of pressure in between those thighs. We're not going for a thigh gap right here. We want no daylight between those thighs. Any ladies who have thick thighs like myself, it's an advantage with this exercise. Good. Now we're not going to take a break. Obviously, we're starting very basic here. Squeeze the booty before you lift.
Stop exercise.
I want you to try to pinch your butt cheeks together before any action is added. So thighs are squeezing, glutes are engaged, and belly button is pulled in. Now we can lift the hips. You're going to drive through the
Begin set
heels
2.
and hold. Set 2. Here's the challenge. It is very common, and I'm going to switch, hopefully, yeah, you can kind of see. Very common for once we lift, the knees will want to open. The hips are going to want to open a little bit. Your job is to keep the knees squeezed together, which honestly ends up being a lot harder than it sounds. Like my legs are trembling right now, trying to keep my knees together with my hips up in the air.
Stop exercise.
Now you can take a break. Drop your hips, pull one or both knees into your chest and open up those knees. Give yourself and your inner thighs a little break. And breathe deeply.
Begin set 3.
Good. Knees together, feet down. Squeeze inner thighs, squeeze the booty, hips up. Keep the knees together. Now we add a pulse. Very small, slow, down and up. There is no bouncing here. It's almost as though you're underwater and the water resistance forces you to move like a scuba diver. Good. Or an astronaut. Astronaut's another good one too. They always move really slowly.
Stop exercise.
Or like you're doing Tai Chi. Take a break only if you need to. Whoo, burning, should be burning a lot. Like kind of an unreasonable amount for something so simple.
Begin
If it's
set
not,
4.
I want you to use your brain. Focus on your heels. Drive your heels in. Focus on your knees staying together. Focus on your glutes pinching together. And focus on your belly button being in. If you are thinking about all of those things and you are not burning by now, then I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Good. Oh my gosh, my inner thighs are on fire. They're mad at me. They want me to stop.
Stop
And I say,
exercise
no.
and
Woo.
switch to the next station.
There we go. Go ahead, pull those knees in, open up those legs, take a little break. That has been a lot of lower body. Let's move into some upper body. So we're going to begin on our hands and knees.
Begin
Push-up
set
series.
1.
Set 1 is going to be the easiest one, and it's going to progress from there. So when you're on your hands and knees, as if you're about to do a cat and cow, but instead you're going to go down and up. So a lot of times when I'm teaching a knee push-up, this is what I end up seeing. My butt is up in the air, like a little pike, right? Maybe my back is bowing a little bit. Now here's the thing, this isn't necessarily wrong, but this push-up is reserved for people who have very sensitive shoulders, okay? So if you did that and you're like, that felt pretty easy, Here's level 2. You're going to walk your hands forward and then bring your chest center, okay?
Begin
Tuck
set
your
2.
tailbone. Now you are one straight line from your knees to the top of your head. I want your eyes not to your pelvis, but to the floor directly in front of you. Good. Down and up. Now for me, I'm doing a slightly, keep going ladies, I'm doing a slightly wider grip. You are welcome, if it's better for your shoulders, to do a narrow grip, but the difference here is that the elbows can't flare. We need the elbows to stay close to the waist. This is going to feel more challenging because it recruits more of the tricep.
Exercise.
There's the break. You can take this break here. But when we go narrow, while that gets more tricep, feels more challenging, it also keeps the arms in a more neutral position than a wide push-up. Wide push-up is going to require a wider elbow
set
than
3.
a narrow. Good. Set 3. You can either, if your shoulders are sensitive, do knee with your butt up, knee with your butt down, or if you want to challenge, you're going to curl your toes underneath. You're going to give me 2 push-ups in a plank. 1, 2. Then you're going to drop your knees. 1, 2. Good. Curl. Perfect plank. 1, 2.
Stop.
Drop your knees.
Exercise.
1, 2. Very good. Child's pose. Very nice. Set 4. Your choice. Butt up. If your shoulders are sensitive.
Begin set 4.
If they are not, you can do knee push-ups. You can choose to come up into a full push-up for 2. You can also choose to do a full push-up for the whole set. Your choice. If your wrists are getting tired, you're welcome to do monkey paw, which mine are. So I'm going to go ahead and do monkey paw. Do not be surprised if you cannot get down as far with a full push-up. Oh my God, I already worked my
Stop
chest today, so I'm
exercise
dropping.
and switch to the next station.
Beautiful. Go ahead, be mindful about it, but you're gonna grab one of your hand weights and stay on the mat. We're going to go into a row on our hands and knees, one-armed. So most of you are familiar with a bench row. This row, we're gonna do on the floor. We have to pull the elbow high and pulse at the very top. Now you notice, usually when we do a bench plank, we fully extend, but of course here, we hit the floor. So we're gonna keep the elbow high, wrap the shoulder blade around the spine. So every time you pulse, you're not just pulsing your elbow up, you're also pulsing your shoulder blade in. Your back is nice and flat.
Stop exercise.
Good, take a break. We're gonna switch sides, but I'm gonna turn around so you can continue to see me clearly. When we're doing rows, it's really important that we don't end up rounding our back. We also wanna make sure that we're never shrugging into the supporting shoulder. Hips are nice and even. Good, I'll do this on a diagonal so you can kind of see. Neck is long, back is flat, elbow is up, and we pulse. Pulse, pulse. Good. Belly button is in. If you want an extra challenge, I don't know why I keep doing this, because it also means I have to do it. Knees together, and the leg that is opposing the arm is going to extend straight back.
Stop exercise.
3, 2, 1. Good. So it's just like a bird dog, right? Opposing leg. So right now I was working my left arm, and so my right leg was going out, except instead of the arm reaching forward, the arm is doing row. Let's switch again. All right. This time, the weight is in my right hand. My right elbow is up. I'm pulsing my right shoulder blade. My left leg is going to extend. Stability and core here. Now, it's very important. If you choose to do the bird dog, again, super optional, ladies. But if you choose to do the bird dog, you want to make sure that that hip isn't rotating out. Again, just like we were doing with our one-legged deadlift pulses, hips stay really even. 3, 2, 1. Last one. Switch hands. We're gonna do abs after this. So much mat work. Lucky you. Gorgeous.
Begin set 4.
Elbow up. For me, with my left hand. Shoulder blade is wrapping in. If you choose to do bird dog, extend the right leg. And we want to make sure that both shoulders are down away from the ears. Your neck is long. Belly button is in, hips are even. Back is not rounding, nor is it bowing. Good. Keep going, ladies. I just want to show you something. Let's see if you can kind of see it. So my back here, I can pull the elbow up without engaging this at all. Or I add the
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
Do you see? I mean, the lighting isn't that great in here, but hopefully you saw what a big difference that is. There's a big difference between this and this, yeah? Want to make sure that we're always engaging the trapezius when we're doing our back exercises. That's what gives us beautiful posture. Let's work those abs.
Set 1.
I'm going to lie down on your back. We're going to begin with our legs straight up in the air. I'm choosing to put my hands behind my head, but you're welcome to have your arms at your sides. Lower back is pressed firmly into the mat. Heel toe, heel toe. Now you notice my legs are fairly straight. If your hamstrings aren't quite flexible enough, you can do a soft knee, but it's really important that you don't do this just from the knee. The whole thigh should be moving.
Stop exercise.
Good. Now, if your lower back does not care for this, for set 2, I'm going to have you put one foot down and just go 1, 2 with that leg. Otherwise, if you want a little bit more of a challenge,
begin set 2.
Here's how we progress. We go 1, we go 2. But you'll notice that my ankles are pretty much stacked on top of my hips at all times. That can change. You can extend the legs away from the body just by a little bit, tiny bit at a time. That's going to engage the lower abdominals a little bit more, but please be mindful because it can also start to get into the lower back. What we want to do is maintain that flat back by squeezing the abs together.
Stop exercise.
Good. Pull those knees in for a little break. If you can, take a quick look at the camera. A lot of times we say keep the lower back on the floor. That's really shorthand for what the abs are doing. When a leg extends, what it wants to do is pull the pelvis up and create a lot of space under the lower back.
Set 3.
Your job is to keep the abs squeezed together. The pelvis is trying to make friends with the sternum, and then it stays that way. So that the minute you pick your legs up, you have to use your abs to resist the pelvis rocking. The lower back stays down. Now, the stronger you are in your core, the more you can keep that back down, the lower your legs can go. Now for me, I have a hard time staying here for much longer than a few seconds at a time. So I will sometimes
Stop
bring my legs up for a second and then slowly walk my legs down and then reverse. But it is up to you. We are approaching set 4. Your choice. One-legged, down and up. Same rules apply.
Set 4.
As that leg drops, it's going to want to tilt your pelvis. You want to make sure that that lower back stays down. Down and up with the leg. Stay stacked on top of the hips or drop away from the hips as far as you can. And if you need a little break, you just got to walk those feet back to more neutral position. Good, breathe. Keep that belly button pulled into the spine on every exhale. And keep that back flat. Good.
Stop exercise.
Woo.
Your training is now
Pull
complete.
your knees into your chest gently, please. Give yourself the tiniest little lower back stretch. Now, ladies, as a reminder, some of you may know this already, but at 10:15, there is a 45-minute stretch class if you care to join. It is on Mondays now for the foreseeable future, no longer on Thursdays. Go ahead and open up your knees. Give your inner thighs just a little bitty stretch. Woo. Good. There it goes. And I'm gonna roll to my side and come up and say hello. Hello, ladies. Who we got?